What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Titans sector. If you're a Titans fan, this is the place to be. The takes are hot, the passion is real, and the opinions are sure to collide. As always, I'm Van, and I'm joined by my man Ghost over here. And before we get started on today's pod, I want to take a moment to remind you guys, while you're here and watching, help us out. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps with our algorithm and helps to push our content out there to the community. And if you're already here, man, that would mean so much to both of us. So thank you. Appreciate you doing that. All right, so let's get into the meat of today's pod. And for that, I'm going to turn it over to Ghost. Ghost, describe to everybody what we're going to be doing today.
So, as those who watch know, we did a AFC South positional ranking. Did it live on screen. Whether we agreed or disagreed, didn't matter. We didn't talk about it prior. We went through it and we got a ranking. However, what we are planning to do over the next 3 episodes is we're going to do team battles. And basically what we did is we assigned point values to each positional ranking, 4, 3, 2, 1, depending on where they ranked. And we're going to go through those, add a little bit more. We're going to add a little bit more depth to the conversation. And then whatever the cumulative score is, that team won that battle. And then we're going to do that for the Colts, and we're going to do that for the Texans.
What's today then?
The Jags.
All right,
I'm going to go ahead and share. I'm going to go ahead and share it up.
All right, let's do it. Let's bring it up.
Boom.
Oh, crispy graphics. Thank you, sir. The humility.
Was painstaking, this one. I'll be honest with you.
Well, it looks beautiful. I love it. So yeah, this is always my time to plug you, right, to the listeners, because you are not just
plugs.
You're not just co-host. You're graphic design extraordinaire. But all right, so this isn't about ranking your graphics pod, so I apologize. Okay, so for the scoring system, you said 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So describe the 4 and 2 that we see appearing on Cam Ward and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, so 4 on the left side, 2 on the right side. It's going to be Jags and Titans score. 4 means that we ranked them the best. And then 3, second, 2, third, and then 1 is last. So everybody gets at least 1 point. And basically, we're going to talk about why we did this.
Why did we do it? Yeah. All right. So if you didn't watch our AFC South rankings pod, then you probably should go back and take this moment to go watch it, because it'll certainly help with the context of these pods, this one today and the ones coming up. But we decided at the end that Cam Ward, in our opinion, was the top quarterback in AFC South. And because he was number 1, he got 4 points, right? So, to me, when I look at this battle, I'm thinking, and we discussed this off pod a little bit, the concept of this, and had a discussion around it. But I'm looking at like a who wins Sunday, and I realize, yeah, man, there's bias involved. There it is. I'm a Titans fan. I believe in our guys. I believe in some more than others, and Cam Ward just happens to be that
bias. Not only is there a bias, but there's also a disdain for the Jaguars.
There is 100%. I don't like anything about that organization. I'm just going to be honest. Yeah. I mean, from con down,
The only reason why they're not 4th in the South, in my opinion, is because of the Texans' banter about our uniforms.
I agree. That's so true, by the way. It's so true, because I really can't stand them almost more than anybody else. But and that's hard to say, because the Colts have been so successful, historically. But I don't even mind them as much, which is nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm looking at like this matchup on who wins Sunday, some people might call me crazy because, Trevor Lawrence went to the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence, he's been in the league. He was also number 1 overall pick, out of Clemson. He definitely has more tenure on him and under his belt than Cam Ward, more experience. But man, I just don't believe in the dude. Like, he does not have that alpha dog mentality that you need as a quarterback to lead a franchise to something more than just what the Jaguars are and what I think the Jaguars will continue to be during the time that he's there. So, like, if I'm going into a game, and it's not just week 3, week 4, week 5, like if I'm going into a gotta have it game, right? All things equal, gotta have it game, I'm choosing Cam Ward 10 out of 10 times over Trevor Lawrence. So, To me, it was an easy decision. And I think Cam Ward also has far more upside, not only because he's at he's into the second season of his career, so he's a younger dude. He has more opportunities coming his way. But I just think athletically and skill set based with his total package of skill, you know what I'm saying? Like the throws that he can make, the plays off schedule that he can make. I think he's way more complete of a quarterback, arm strength, traditional quarterback than Trevor Lawrence is, or ever was, to be quite honest with you. That's my take.
Yeah. So for me, it really is about what we know about Trevor Lawrence and what we don't about Cam Ward. It's kind of where I'm at. Tons of upside with Cam Ward when you think about what you said, his arm strength, his off schedule ability, just ability to improv out there when things start to break down. They will. And then also, I think you're going to see sometimes there is a bit of us as Titans fans. I think we give, having watched every game and survived what was last season and the season before, I think we give some of these Titans some grace in a way.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because they didn't have a Liam Cohen. I mean, kudos to him. He's a good coach. I'll give them their flowers when it's due. So
Yeah.
we didn't have that. We weren't dealing with that. And in spite of that, I felt like there was even though we started low, like once we got McCoy in there and they started level the shit, you started to see like what it could be. You know what I mean? They were still operating with the same junk offense. They were still had the same junk play calling, same timid decision making.
Yeah.
Not challenging the right stuff. So with all that stuff going on around, I think it's easy to like push Cam Ward down and say, "Oh no, he's the worst in the division." I think it's really about what we know and what we don't hear. And for us as Titans fans, sprinkle in a little bias, and we got Cam Ward at number one.
Yeah. It's interesting because we put up shorts on our TikTok channel. So if any of you guys watching on YouTube don't know, you can find us at TikTok on the.titan.sector. But we put up a short from the AFC power rankings, essentially, right? Pod that we were talking about where we're basing all this content off of. And somebody commented today and they said, hey, if you're going to give Cam Ward that grace or that asterisk, right, based on coaching and all that you mentioned in that pod, then Trevor Lawrence deserves the same grace because he survived Urban Meyer. And it's like, no, okay.
That was a long time ago.
Right. And I understood that point. But, again, it goes back, and I don't want to be redundant, but it goes back to the point that we've seen Trevor Lawrence year after year after year. And it's not just been Urban Meyer. It was Doug Peterson, Doug Peterson was he's a good coach. That's a guy that won, and he didn't have success in Jacksonville. And Urban clearly was not fit for that role. And Liam's had one single season. He did a good job. Like I said, give him his flowers, but it's been 1 year, right? So it's the same thing. If Saleh comes in and does it great 1 year, good, but we gotta do it again. You gotta stack. You gotta stack it. I feel like I've watched the same exact Trevor Lawrence every year, right? Like every coach, every season, it's the same Lawrence, it's the same problems. And I'm telling you, I've mentioned this before, but I was watching the Buffalo game last year at the end of the season, right, with Jacksonville. Home field advantage in Jacksonville. They have to go and make a drive. I turned to my son and I said, Lawrence is going to throw a pick. This game's going to be over. Why would I say that? Because you know what's coming with the dude. And literally a couple plays later, he throws a pick. So yeah, I don't want to just beat up on him, but man, we've seen what he's going to be. I don't think we've seen nearly what Cam Ward can be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
4
especially
points.
When everything starts working around him. So
without a doubt. 4 points. Where's that at? There it is. Yes, I just said, where's my hand at? Everybody watching. We're having technical difficulties.
Got it rolling. The Alt tab wasn't working, so here we go. Brace yourselves.
All right, running back position. Take it away.
All right, man. So for me, they didn't really get better. I mean, they're not really great. They didn't replace Travis Etienne. Bashal Tutin and Chris Rodriguez Jr. I think you know what you're getting with them. in the same vein, I think you are also seeing kind of a similar thing with the Titans because they didn't do much with their room. However, with this new coaching staff, with the players that we have on the O line, that you hope they can like put that together and start to gel and be better, and we see a full season instead of just that back half. If that back half is basically that they're like, if you see what that trajectory would have been in a full season, that we would have had a really, really solid rushing attack.
Yeah.
I don't think Pollard's aged out. I think
Yeah.
he is getting older, but I think he's still got some left in the tank. And if Tajay can tap into what we know he can do,
Yeah.
and I think Dabble can do it, I think that's why we put them at 2 in the division.
Yeah, 100%. And man, I'll tell you, in this matchup of running backs between these two teams, like it's pretty easy to me. You know, you mentioned the fact that before about losing. Man, I forgot how he said he's supposed to say his name now, so I'm going to butcher it. But ETN, which I don't think they said, it's not ETN, whatever. He clarified that. I don't remember, but they lost him, and he's a good back. And now you're sitting there with Tootin, which I mean that stinks.
You had to do.
I know.
You had to do.
I know.
Does stink.
And you got Chris Rodriguez Jr. I mean, look at. I don't know, man. You have to be a real homer to believe in that backfield. And again, I've said this before. I've heard good things about Tootin, but he's unproven. He's unproven. He hasn't carried the load. He hasn't. And look, maybe they split it. I feel like this whole backfield room to me just breathes like split running back. You know, like we're just going to be running back by committee in Jacksonville, which to me, I think that's probably what they do.
Yeah. And what's crazy to me is they had opportunities out there. When you look at their off season, they didn't do a whole lot. Like they and I don't know why and I don't know why they did not attack that in the off season. Like when you think about like where they got last year, wouldn't it have been crazy to get the Jets running back in free agency or something like that, to really kind of level that up, or Walker from the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Like why not go? I don't want to say all in, but why not go in on something like that to elevate your team? Because I just don't feel like they elevated this year.
Man, I know this isn't a Jaguars pod. This is a Titans pod. But what's something you just said there really hit true. Why not go all in, right? Think about where they're at in their stage. We've talked and we've heard even this week. This will give insight to when we're recording it, everybody. But we've heard this week from the first days of training camp, the word rebuild thrown around in interviews with our Titans players and some of the Jaguars are not even close to what's considered a rebuild, right? And where's Trevor Lawrence in his career? That's not somebody as a starting quarterback that clearly you're paying and you believe in, that you want to go through experimental years. You've got to invest, you've got to plug in, and you just come off of having a really good year, a really successful season in the division, you know? So yeah, it really confused me their offseason. I think it confused everybody else. But when you're looking at this matchup, and yes, that's why we placed them 4th, which is why they have 1 point. To me, the Titans running back room is sneaky good, okay? And anybody that knows me and follows me knows that I was banging the drum for Jeremiah Love at pick number 4, and he got taken at 3. I still wonder what would have happened if he was there at 4, because who knows what the Titans were thinking. But with that said, Tony Pollard is a perennial 1,000-plus yard rusher. Tajay Spears, in my opinion, I really like Tajay. I really believe in the kid. He just can't stay healthy. But he is so explosive. I wish I could pull that out of my hat, man. But there was a statistic out there about Tajay last year about, I think it was the most forced missed tackles by a running back.
Really?
And Tajay was like number 1 or maybe number 2 in the NFL. And that just shows you what he can do in open space. And we've seen it. He's shifty, he's quick, and he's elusive. If he can stay healthy, wow, what does that look like? I mean, really, what does it look like in a different offensive scheme? We added Nick Singleton out of the draft, which I think that dude has some crazy good potential. I really am not in on Khalil Mullins. I'm going to be honest with you. I'd be surprised. I really would be surprised if he makes the 53-man roster. I just am not in on him. And, you know, I think right there between those 3 guys, I mean, it's easy a better running back room regardless of what the offensive line looks back, we're just looking at the backs. We got them here, and I think it's a clear advantage, not just a hair.
Absolutely, I agree. So we're going to go ahead and move on. Would you look at this?
Are we?
We're going to do it. We're going to look at it. Is what we're going to do. It's going to.
There's a lot of really good looking stuff on this graphic, dude.
So I'll let you lead off on this one to wide receivers.
Yeah, let me just look at the graphic for a minute. Yeah, okay. It's just I have to soak it in, man. Good pictures. So yeah, everybody watching, you can see once again, we ranked the wide receiver room for the Jaguars as last in the AFC South, in our opinion, which gave them 1 point. We ranked the Titans wide receiver room as second behind the Texans, which gives them 3 points, if I remember correctly. So that's where the rankings come from. And for me, it goes down to, again, this is very similar to the Cam Ward discussion. Personally, it goes into a lot of potential and production with our wide receiver room comparative to what I see with the Jaguars. I'll start off with the Jags. Travis Hunter, you and I discussed this. I think Travis Hunter should be a wide receiver. I'm not an NFL pro, not some GM, right? But to me, he needs to focus on one position and stop going back and forth. Like, I don't know what they're doing with him. And if he focused on one, maybe he'd get to elite status. But right now, he's not elite on either side of the ball. BTJ, I don't know what to know about that guy. I loved him in LSU, but who knows what the heck you're going to get out of him. Jacoby Myers, he's serviceable. Parker Washington had a really good year last year. Like, if you played fantasy, you loved Parker Washington. Like, the dude, he was a reception machine. If you played PPR, that guy was getting you an extra 10 points because he's grabbing 10 balls every game. Pause. But what I would say is that's a pretty good room, but it's lacking a lot of depth, in my opinion, and also lacking a lot of explosiveness. What do you think about the Jaguars?
So when I think about the Jaguars, I think they have a cornerback playing wide receiver.
There it is.
I don't know why. I don't think, because you should. I just don't think I don't think he's a Deion Sanders. I could see having a package for him and bringing him in red zone or whatever it is. I don't know about being like, hey, we have a guy that's a wide receiver and a cornerback. I just don't think it's doing him a service. I don't think it's doing the Jags a service. The other three, BTJ, again, he's up in the air. He had a good year, and then he had a not so good year. I think he can be like a Nico Collins type or whatever, like a wide receiver one. Will he? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you got the other Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington. You kind of talk about the same thing, just like hands guys, they're going to catch it, then they're going to be there for him. I don't think that's a bad thing, but I do think, like you said, they are missing, except for BTJ and maybe Travis Hunter, since they're using him, like that explosiveness or what have you. Now, going into the Titans, it was abysmal last year, and I don't think a lot of the times because the drops were on the receivers, but you have to think about coaching. Like what were they doing? Like you didn't really see much improvement on that all year. You know what I mean? It was still kind of happening later on.
Yeah.
And misutilization of players, et cetera, et cetera. So that being said, you look like what we got going on now. We got Carnell Tate. Dude, I get a warm feeling in my heart every time I say that name. That's a Buckeye wide receiver, man. And they come out ready. And whatever. People can roast me, Homer, or whatever. I can't imagine him failing. Literally, the odds are so in his favor. Go watch our pod about OSU wide receivers. They come out ready. Dating back to Santonio Holmes, they perform, even if they're Anthony Gonzalez in his oxygen chamber or whatever. they play. Wan'Dale Robinson, that's that short to intermediate explosiveness. You know what I mean? He's going to be a lifesaver for Cam, that Cam didn't have last year necessarily. He had a young. I mean, we were playing with practice squad guys last year. So the improvement cannot be understated. Calvin Ridley, that guy's hungry. He's going to want to get paid. He's if he can stay healthy, he's got to turn it around. And then we don't even have DK on here. I chose A.O. Manor because I think his upside's a little higher. DK, all pro special teams, but that's not what we're talking about.
Right.
But those two, I mean, you got DK, a deep threat. He can be a gadget guy, whatever you need. And then you got A.O. Manor, the more prototypical, big, strong, fast. We know Cam likes him. He had some incredible catches with Cam off schedule. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I want to see more of that.
Yes.
However, you got to talk about that upside, what you know and what you don't. You know what I mean? Like as far as the Titans versus Jaguars now. But what I know about the Titans is all of these guys can do it. You know what I mean? And there's more promise per player than what's going on with the Jags.
That's a great statement, man. Promise per player, a little PPP. I like that. I like that. That should be a new rating, a new PFF rating, the PPP.
PPP, the promise per player.
Yeah, dude, that smacks. I think for the Titans, it's clear to me, right? Carnell Tate, I think, can be a bona fide 1,000+ yard wide receiver, can be a wide receiver one type guy. We haven't seen it yet, but I really think everything is there for this guy to succeed. You said enough about him. I'm not going to just drown it out, but Carnell Tate, I think, is a monster in the making if he really taps into what he can be. Wan'Dale Robinson was a 1,000-yard+ receiver last season, and in Brian Dable's offense, I think he can repeat that very easily in a Titans offensive scheme.
There's
Calvin Ridley,
chance he could be 3.
Correct.
He could be wide receiver 3. That's what's crazy. That's
it
when
is
you start
crazy.
thinking like, oh, okay, that's why they're going to probably be better.
Yes, and Calvin Ridley, if healthy, that dude is also a 1,000-yard receiver. I know I have my feelings on how Ridley performed, and every Titans fan does, and they're valid because, man, his drops were just ugly. They were ugly. I mean, you watch the Netflix special with quarterback, and you see when Cam's dad gets in the stands, and reaches over and grabs that freaking handrail. And that was like the first heartbreaking drop for Ridley that I remember last year because it was the first game, but it never left him. It's like something got in Ridley's head. It never left. It was an ugly season for him, but if he fixes it, and the reason I say if is because Ridley's a veteran. He's done it before. He's proven that he is a really good wide receiver, good route runner, good tactician, good separator, even though he's an aging veteran. He can be a 1,000-yard receiver. And then, like you said, A.O. Manor, man, A.O. Manor has huge upside. And the thing I love about that dude, right? He is a grinder, man. And somehow this guy who came in as a rookie looking ripped and jacked looks even more ripped and jacked and lean this year, which is nuts. He's saying he's getting faster. He's saying he's getting better. If you watch interviews, and it's even on that quarterback special with Cam Ward, they have A.O. Manor highlighted a lot of times as interviews, right, about Cam. And it's clear to me that A.O. Manor is like, dude, that's my guy. That's our leader. Anything I can do. Cam says, if you see this, if you see green grass, run to it, dude. I'm going to get there. You got to love that, man. That's a chemistry. So I agree. The upside with the Titans wide receiver room right now is very high, but that's also a very high expectation. I don't think it's anywhere close between these two. I think the trajectory for the Jaguars is either flat or down, and I think the Titans is up. So that's where I'm at.
Absolutely. Completely agree. All right.
Well, that's a fun one.
Yes. All right. So let's discuss this. Why are there 3 on the Jaguars side? Well, let me tell you. So this team, no idea why. They decided to double dip at tight end in the draft.
I know why. Because everybody knows a cat loves a good tight end. I don't know.
Maybe.
I tried. That's my second attempt.
They got a guy in the second, and I'm not even sure where Kazoil got drafted, to be honest with you. Don't pay much attention to the Jags. That being said, it seems like a bit more of an influx position for them than it seems like they found some solutions. Tight ends on a super high value pick, and they wasted 2 of them on them. So this kind of goes back to our view that, again, I think you just said it, flat or down in some ways, because they kind of ignored the running back position, because who knows what they're doing here at tight end. Are 2 rookies going to come out and play? If so, are they going to perform? No idea. it just seems more in flux than solved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, move over to the Titans side. And I won't say much about him. I'll let you get to this. But Gunnar Helm, the dude, his upside is real. Like, we saw it. And this is where I was kind of getting into our coaching staff and misutilization. You know what I mean? They didn't use him a ton. But the guy catches everything. He's got magnets for hands as far as I'm concerned, watching him play. And then Bellinger, I mean, you got a guy that can block, and you got a reliable guy who can catch. I don't think he's going to put up 800 yards and 16 touchdowns or something crazy, like a Travis Kelce stat or something like that.
Right.
But it's I think he can do at least as good as Chick and block better. So I think that's a plus.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
he definitely can. He definitely can play better in the blocking game because Chick
Mhm.
struggled with that. But yeah, I agree with you on that point. What I would say on the Jaguars tight end room, man, you said it all, so I'm going to echo it. But it's confusing to me. You know, Britton Strange is a good tight end, and I think he's good in that offense. But it's really confusing to me what they're doing with that position.
Mhm.
And like, why would you draft 2 tight ends out of all those? And I know they had 11 picks, I think, if I remember correctly, because a goofy GM of theirs said, we got all 11 of our guys, you know, with his
Yeah.
word salad, as somebody in the press conference shortly after that bought a sweet 1994 Honda for $2,000, you know. He just comes off like a used car sales guy, or like the son of a used car sales guy. But yeah, I just don't know what they're doing, man. I don't know much about those tight ends. You know, I know a little bit about that A&M guy. I lied a little bit, but not the other guy. So who knows? You know, who knows? But I guess we'll see how that turns out in the future. But like you said, flat or down. I think it's flat for the Titans. You know, a lot of my rankings, and again, for viewers, Titans got a 2 because we rank their tight end room as 3rd best in the AFC South.
Mhm.
But I'm going to hit you with this. I don't remember if I've said this before, and if I had, I'm sorry, it's redundant. But I think Gunnar Helm's upside to me, looking at the type of tight end he is, looking at his route tree, looking at his athleticism, his body type, his skill set, his range, all of that, I think this guy could be the next George Kittle. Like, that to me is what he really reminds me of in regards to his potential.
Mhm.
And, you know, George Kittle's not the best blocker in the world, but he's a dog. He's a good blocker when he blocks. And I think Gunnar Helm can get into that stage of his career at some point too. But purely from his hands and his range and the what he can do after he catches the ball, Gunnar Helm has all those tools. So I'm so high on that guy. And Bellinger, just look at the guns. I mean, look at the guns.
Gun show.
Yes, I mean, sun's out clearly in that photograph. But you know, Bellinger is yet to be seen. You know, I saw him in New York. I watched a little bit of the Giants last year. Watched a lot of football on like the Red Zone package or whatever that I have. But you know, it's yet to be seen. I think he has a lot of upside. I like the fact that he has connectivity with Dayball, but I just like our room better. I just like it better. Even if you go past these 2 guys, I like it better.
Yeah, no, definitely. And we're not saying it's there, obviously. Like you said, we rank them 3rd best over the Jags. But we'll see. We'll see. Gunner's promising for sure.
Yeah, and I think to the last thing I would say about that is, I know, I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Sorry.
You can't do that.
Hold on. Put it in reverse, Terry. Back up. Is Britton Strange to me is more he's been more productive. He's more proven in the NFL than Gunner is, right? But the upside value, just like we talked about with Cam and like we talked about a little bit with the receivers, that's what gives them the win on the matchup in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, shift it into gear. I'm sorry.
That is a lot of beef.
That's yeah, man. That's a lot.
So both teams are going through some things. One, you got Latham, who has not quite met his first round potential.
No.
Dan Moore, who is probably overpaid, but I would say he's playing average at least average ball, at least in the back half of last season. The whole O-line got significantly better in the back half of the season. And you like to see that. You'd
Yeah,
like to
absolutely.
see it the whole season. So that being said, I think we need there is some room for improvement with the Titans, obviously. I would love to hear that they got Zeitler or whatever. But there's even some players, like I think Pregnon. I don't have Pregnon on here for the Jags. So that being said, and Cole Van Lannon, I believe he's on the PUP list. They got some stuff going on. So we've got these guys middle of the pack in the AFC South, rightfully so. And I don't know how it's going to shake out for either for either side. You know what I mean? And
True.
I guess after training camp, we'll know. But for right now, we did consider upside and put the Titans at 3 points.
I think the way you said it is the best, and the way I feel about this, which is simply that we don't know what's going to happen. I feel similarly about both of these rooms in regards to my belief on what they can do. I mean, I feel like this is where a lot of people could argue with us on our ranking, because the Titans' offensive line was so bad. I mean, they allowed Cam Ward to be sacked like it was part of their bonus paycheck, you know. And so, yeah, that is. But this is a new season with some new pieces. Latham definitely has not lived up to where he was selected in the top 10 at all, at all. And he has got to. If he doesn't turn around this year, he's moving on. Titans fans will want him gone. And this regime, right? This GM who didn't pick him will ship him somewhere else. I promise you that. Dan Moore, I thought Dan Moore stepped it up and did a better job, like you said, in the second half of the year. Skoronski is going to get extended. He's a beast. And I believe in the pieces we've brought in, man. I believe in these pieces, actually. Like, I believe in Schlottman. I believe in Volson a little bit, like at least as a good depth piece for an interior offensive line. Jackson Slater, there's a lot of Jackson Slater love out there. Shout out to you on X, Jackson Slater account, Stan account. You're always engaging with us. We see you. That's probably the biggest Jackson Slater love out there. But aside from that, we brought in 2 really good draft picks with Cormona and Coogan, and I really like those picks. I do, man. Cormona is a dog.
I think we factored that in when we talked about it on our pod, but we're trying to keep the picture down. We're not trying to put the whole football team on these pictures.
Yeah, no. But I wanted to mention him just because I feel like Cormona is he's an absolute dog. The guy plays with grit.
Coogan.
And I love Coogan. I mean, we could have a pod on Coogan alone. And frankly, maybe we should. But Cormona, to me, if he can, heck, he's got to prove it. But if he steps into that role, he embodies that mentality of just a nasty offensive lineman that I love. So anyway, I feel good, man. A lot of people are always like, my biggest question mark right now is the Titans offensive line. I just think that's the easy answer, man, just because it's like, right guard, center. I don't think even the Titans organization feel about it like we do, even though this week Borgonzi said in a press conference, there's still more work to be done there. Okay, great. Fine. Sure. Get more depth, get better pieces. I don't care. But anyway, I still feel pretty good about where they're at.
Absolutely.
Oh, my favorite part of this graphic is how the Denver Broncos jersey looks like an alternate Titans jersey.
Yeah, I know. Did not want that bright orange on there. like focus in on it.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll let you take it.
Yeah, so defensive line, right? So we ranked the Titans as the second best defensive line in the AFC South. And it was tough with the Jaguars going last, because actually, give the Jaguars their flowers, man. This is a good group of guys, right? Like Josh Hines Allen, previously known as Josh Allen, which, maybe he threw the Hines in there because he didn't want to be the same as the quarterback. But Josh Hines Allen has given us fits for years. That guy's a talented edge. I mean, he's a talented guy. Trayvon Walker, high pick out of Georgia, if I remember correctly. Very talented guy. And Eric Armstead, which, I mean, come on. That guy's a good player too. That's a really good line. I think there's a lot of talent on the defensive line now in the entire AFC South. So it was a hard decision for me, if I'm being honest. But I just don't believe him as much. Man, the Titans. What else? Oh my God. I'm currently in love with this defensive line. I am. Like, I'm
I
writing
mean,
in my journal at night about the defensive line. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, that's how bought in I am on this group of guys and the pieces that we brought in. Um, and I'll let you take it from here to expand on depth. But man, I love what the Titans are doing there. So excited for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we only got three of the guys here. One being Jeff Simmons. There's a Jeff Simmons boost. Obviously, there's a solid boost for us. We're excited that Salah's going to be calling the plays, and I think you said it. It was hard. The whole AFC South is stacked on the defensive line. I do not think the Jags are bad. We talked
No.
about this in our ranking pod. We really just felt like, all things considered, the Jags did little to raise the bar, and a lot of other teams did in more ways than they did. So, do not think they're bad. I would love to have an Eric Armstead and these other players, but we got Keldrick Falk. We have Femi coming back. And again, man, Jeff Simmons and JFM in the middle with Jermaine Johnson, who's probably going to have his best season since before his injury. Back with Saleh, and Saleh calling plays, no less. So I'm excited, man. So that's why we put them on, obviously, under the Texans. I mean, they're probably one in the league. It's undebatable.
It was between them and the Broncos, and we took JFM from Denver. Let me take a brief moment to talk about this, because I was finally able to just dig myself away from a chaotic work day today, and I watched a little bit of the press conferences from day one, and I saw that Big Jeff and JFM were interviewed up at the press conference, right? And this really, and I watched it back. I loved this answer from JFM, so I got to give him his flowers right now. And I don't know if you've had a chance to watch it, but
Not yet.
JFM was asked, hey, why did you choose coming to the Titans aside from other teams? Because you come from Denver, who just appeared in the AFC Championship game, and you're coming to a rebuild, right? And he's like, he literally is going, he went, what's a rebuild? This is the NFL, man. He's like, we're coming here because we've got players that can win. We've got a coach here that can win. And he's like, our goal is win playoff Super Bowl. And he straight up said it. And I was just, man, he's like, rebuild. This is the NFL, man. Every year is different. There is no rebuild. And I loved that answer from him.
You don't get that energy in the past. Like past 2 years, you didn't see that. As a matter of fact, there were players stating that people did not believe in themselves and the team. And they would say some like fluttery, like, oh,
yes.
Or they'd shy away from the question. Like you like to hear that kind of confidence.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And especially in a guy that we bring in and pay that money to, that's going to be right beside Big Jeff. And he was just, man, he was praising Jeff, talking about training with him, talking about, learning from him and watching him as the best defensive tackle in the league. Anyway, man, I had to say, because it juiced me up. I was so excited to hear that guy say that, because it's confidence, man. What do you want? I don't care what the record was last year. This is a new year. I want our players to say, all gas, no brakes, dude. We're winning this thing. So, yeah, super stoked about this defensive line. And with White Cotton at the helm, I can't wait to DJ. I can't wait to watch him on the sidelines on Sundays.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
He's going to be a fun watch.
A Washburn guy, no less.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's going to be great.
We had good times with Washburn, so
we did.
All right, man. So we are on the linebackers. Only did the top two from each team. And so we got Cedric Gray, who, if I'm not mistaken, did he lead the league in tackles last year?
He didn't, but he was close.
He was up there, top 5, easy.
Yeah.
And then Anthony Hill Jr. So that's more of a promising pick. I loved that pick. I'm very excited after watching more about that pick. So I'm excited for him. And then we got Barton, just a stable veteran. I'm not even going to try and butcher these stupid names, dude. I'm not even going to try and butcher these names.
It's Foyesade Alokun or something.
Yeah, so
I don't know. Ventrell Miller's easy. It's Ventrell Miller.
Yeah, that is easy. Yeah. That being said, the Jags, again, man, it's just hard for me to see them elevating anything in this offseason. I think people got better. I think they kind of stayed the same, and I think they got jumped a little bit. Maybe this ages terribly. I don't care. we got the Titans as 2 and second in the AFC South, and once again we got the Jags last.
Well, I'm going to go on record right now as saying that for a linebacker, the number 23 is disgusting. So that looks horrible, and that needs to be fixed. But regardless, man, I agree. I just think the Jaguars are stagnant, and they lost a big piece. I wish I would have looked it up. The guy's name, is it White? Is that the linebacker they lost? I wish I would.
Oh yeah, I wish. Yeah, I don't know.
I wish I would know, but they lost a great back. So again, stagnation, man, stagnation. I don't love what they're doing now with the Titans. I'm so excited about Anthony Hill Jr., man. I'm so excited that he has taken on this iconic number, which frankly should be retired in 53, that Keith Bullock wore and made famous for this organization. But I'm excited that he's the one that gets to try to bring it back to life, much like Cam is doing with Warren's number, to be quite frank. And I do think that Cedric's going to beat out Cody Barton. I have said from the beginning, not Cedric, Anthony Hill, sorry. I've said from the beginning that Anthony Hill, I think he was going to beat him out in camp, and I think he was going to be the starting linebacker week 1. Now, will that happen? Who knows? But I really feel strongly about Anthony Hill. I think he has all the tools. The dude is clearly a good communicator. Watch him in the PR videos from the Titans team or at the podium, and he is not a loss for words. He's an entertainer. He's a talker. And what do you have to be if you're the Mike linebacker? You have to communicate. And there's been so many answers of things that he's talked about that I've seen this intelligence from such a young person in regards to playing that position. And I think it's going to translate because he's super athletic. And what more can you say about Cedric Gray? Because, man, he's been in a really tough position, just like these other Titans on the team the past couple of years. And he had to fight, and he fought. He got his college number. And he has been an absolute stud, one of the best in the entire league.
Quiet too, man. He's like a quiet stud. He's not super big headed. I love Cedric Gray. I'm glad. I loved the pick. So, like, I'm glad it came around that he ended up being a huge contributor, and I think the sky's the limit for him.
I agree. I love our linebacker room. Actually, I really do. Oh, this is a fun one. You want me to lead this one off?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So cornerbacks again, 3-1. Very, very. I mean, very trendy right now. Very trendy. You're going to see these numbers a lot, apparently.
Yeah. Well, it's funny if anybody goes back and watches it. Our rankings, it was like the same for like 4 or 5 sections or something like that. So
yeah. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing for us, but it was, and we didn't plan it. So look, again, Travis Hunter, we had that conversation when we were on the wide receivers, so I'm not going to be redundant here for the listeners that are still hanging in here with us. I just think they need to pick a side, and I actually, if I had to pick, he wouldn't be a defensive back. So there's my spiel with him. In regards to Brown and Lewis, I mean, how special are they? What have they done? The room. I don't know. They got to prove it. It's back to the prove it, and if it's a big game against a big quarterback, I don't know. Are they really going to prove it? The Titans just got exponentially better, but you're talking about getting better from the floor, or maybe, quite frankly, the basement. I mean, like, the secondary talent we had was absolutely basement level, in my opinion, last year. Aside from like Amani Hooker, and he didn't even have a good year to his standards. So, holy cow, bringing in Alontae Taylor. I've gone back and just for fun, a couple nights, I've looked at Alontae Taylor tape from last year, and it gets me so excited.
We got exponentially more physical in the cornerback room.
Yeah, and even with Cordell, which I think Cordell is a very intriguing piece to me. Some Titans fans in the community that I engage with are like really sold on Cordell. And I don't think I'm there yet, if I'm being honest. I feel like Cordell to me is kind of a prove it guy. But I believe that he can. And I love the fact, like, this week on X, or maybe it was last week, but whatever, within the last week, and I retweeted it, Alontae Taylor came out and said, "Hey, me and Flott, we're going to lock the league down." I'm like, dude, look, TJ, it's like the energy. Can you feel this seismic shift in swag?
And the vibe they give off is so different. I don't think if Cam Ward came in this year and said what he did against the Brown when they won against the Browns about the fourth quarter, I don't think this team gets so upset with him.
I agree totally.
I think it's a completely different ball
From
game.
the top bottom, by the way, from the coaches down.
Yep.
I agree.
100%.
I agree, but I love it, dude, because granted, we haven't even gotten to week 1. I get it, guys, but the swag meter and the confidence level, and it's just like Salah said, man. I want us to be loud as I want us to be loud, and I love it. You know what, dude? It reminds me of those Titans teams that built the slogan "Tennessee Tough." That's what it reminds me of, and so I'm just stoked for that new era. And Marcus Harris. I think he's got a lot of upside.
I love Marcus Harris. I think he's a baller. I think when he stepped in, when we got rid of Jarvis Brownlee Jr., I think he shut a lot of people up because there was a lot of complainers with that trade. I was happy about that trade. Right now, I'm sold on Borg, and if Borg says no, Ghost says no.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Right.
I trust that guy. He seems to be sharp as a tack, man. So, yeah, I won't belabor what you said. I'm very excited for our 2 new corners in Flott and Taylor. Marcus Harris, I think, is only going to rise. I don't know that I would even call him a depth piece, but he's really good at the nickel position. So with those other 2 guys behind him, you can only imagine he gets better. And again, the Jags are just doing more Jags stuff. I think Travis Hunter is a good corner. And hopefully they utilize him that way and don't load him up on both sides of the ball just because people said in pre-draft that's what you should do.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know that I would personally, but.
Well, and that's what Travis himself said he wanted to do. So,
and I
whatever.
I don't get it. I was on my way to get a drink before I started to say it. I was like, I'm just going to finish it. So I just don't get it's not going to make him any more or less of a Hall of Famer or Pro Bowler or anything. Why not focus on a craft? You know what I mean? But whatever. That's just me.
Yeah, I don't disagree. All right, what next? Oh, yeah, big S.
Safeties, dude. Safeties, man.
So.
Cool. You gonna do
safeties?
It?
No, you go for it. But I just want to say, safeties. We rank the Titans as the #1 safety group.
Yes, and why is that? For me, I think Amani Hooker's back. I think I don't know what happened last year. There was a lot of stuff going on last year, and only honestly, I think less was on the players. I think we obviously were frustrated with drops. But this defense played despite everything that was going on around.
Yeah.
I think Amani Hooker's going to be back. I think he's going to be picking balls like he always has for us. I think he's going to play fast, all that good stuff. But Kevin Winston Jr., man, I loved the pick. I still love the pick. He needs to get healthy. I think the coaching staff rushed him back a little bit. The guy is a specimen, man. In the run game, he is going to hit
his dog.
You know what I mean? Just an absolute monster. So I'm so excited about him. If he can improve his defending the pass just a little bit, I feel really, really, really good. I'm really, really bullish on this safety room.
Yeah, I am too. I'm a huge believer in Kevin Winston. I mean, you look back to the draft where they picked Kevin, and just because of the pre-draft injury that he had is how he fell. And it was shocking. Look, it wasn't just the local Titans media or regional coverage. I mean, it was pretty nationally covered that, hey, man, the Titans got a pick here. The fact that he fell to them, that was pretty crazy. So, Kevin was he had a lot of prestige coming out of Penn State and a lot of upside. And I think he proved it. I agree with you. He needs to improve his pass coverage, but I think that's going to come with a second season, with a sophomore season. I think it's going to come with more connectivity, more brotherhood, more tutelage from Amani Hooker. I think it's going to come from knowing that he's the starter. I think it's going to come from a better defense and a better cornerback room that is not just giving up off the line of scrimmage and putting him in a bad spot potentially. There's all kinds of things. So, yeah, and like you said, Kevin's a beast against the run. I mean,
I think he was projected as a first rounder healthy. They said take out the injury, and a lot of them thought he was a late first or mid first. And I think, what did we get him in the
Third.
third? Yeah, third. Just absolutely. He just seems to have the mentality. He's got that aggressive mindset. I'm ready. I'm ready to see him play and be healthy and stay on the field. So
Same. It's a good room. I didn't talk about the Jaguars any, I don't think, but
who cares?
Exactly.
We didn't rank them last, so they can take it and leave it.
I just, I'm just not impressed. That's all I gotta say.
Man, it is disgusting how little they did, man. I just can't believe it. I think most of the league can't believe it. Like, after the draft, it was the talk. Like, that was the story, how little they actually did that made sense.
I mean, look, everybody, the quiet part out loud is that the Jaguars had a good season last year.
Yeah.
Okay. But the quiet part out loud is that I think the entire league believes that this GM is going to crash and burn. But they don't have any facts yet. I think if that happens, and if the Jaguars do this over the next couple of years, I mean, I think there's gonna be torches out like Frankenstein for that guy.
Yeah, I think the reason why they did good last year was Liam Cohen, and it's so funny. I'm glad we got Saleh. I'm glad things are playing out the way they were. But I actually wanted, back when I was still on my Will Levis train, I wanted Liam Cohen.
Yeah, because they had connection.
Yeah, they had some connection. He knew how to use them, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it was the same with me.
Yeah, so I mean that obviously that all played out the way it did, and he played hardball with the Jags too. By the way, he was like, "Nope, I'm going back to Tampa," and then he came. But yeah, man, I think that Gladstone guy, the GM, I do not think any positives that happened last year had anything to do with him or his team building. But man, he sure thinks it does. If you look at him,
yes, he does. Yes, he does.
That's so funny.
All right,
and then we ended on special teams, and
I love this graphic.
First off, I was not going to put the entire special teams unit on here. So
put them all on there.
So I went with the coaches.
Yeah.
And man, it cracks me up how blue they are, because they are the whitest men that ever was white. It's so funny, man.
Yeah, that is funny. They go ahead.
No, yeah. So I mean, what can you say? You got All-Pro DK, who's only going to get better. You got Bones Fassel, who is going to be Bones Fassel. And I think that easily puts you in the top of the AFC South. We put them at 2. So they got that 3 points. And then mostly I think it's because that kicker can kick it from the field goal post on the other side of the field.
Yeah. Cam Little can kick it from his own end zone. Yeah. So look, peek behind the curtain, behind the scenes, this little BTS footage. But before we started rolling, we previewed these slides, and I told TJ that this looked like Fossil was the senior manager at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and that this special teams coach for the Jaguars is fresh out of college looking for his first good gig, with some solid paying health insurance. I mean, I love it. Like Bones looks like he's on a business card or a billboard. You can trust Bones with your business. And we do, man. There's no beating the special teams unit. The thing that you said that I loved, and you said this probably on the ranking pod, I don't recall, but you'd mentioned Bones calls his shots. Like Bones calls his shots. He went out there in press conferences and said, "Hey, we're talking about the last time we blocked a kick, and we're going to break that." And boom. And what'd we do? Went out and freaking blocked a kick.
Return a kick. You know what I mean?
100%.
I'm not entirely convinced that DK is not DK because of Bones Fassel. I think if we have anybody we've had in the past 3 years or so, 4 years, I think DK comes out and is uninspiring. But man, he is good. And Bones Fassel is a great coach, man.
Look, that's a phenomenal point, because here's the truth. There are electric wide receivers. There's electric punt returners and kick returners in NFL history. We can think of some of them. In fact, I think Pac-Man Jones was kind of one of them. The shifty, the fast. I think Kevontae Turpin right now
Josh
is kind
Cribbs,
of
Devin Hester. Always.
Thank you. Yeah. So we know that window. I don't think DK fits in that window visually for me, but DK is a smart guy. He knows when to kick it on. He knows where to hit it. He's intelligent. But yeah, dude, you can't do it as a returner by yourself, right? And
Mhm.
what is Bones teaching? He's teaching the schematics and the scheme and the strategy behind how to set up a wall, how to set up a return. You're totally right. DK wouldn't be where he is without Bones, but that's what makes a beautiful marriage when coaching and players come together. And so, man,
Absolutely.
how promising is that for this whole Titans
Yeah,
team
absolutely.
in 2026?
All right, man. So I don't think it's any surprise. The Titans win on Sunday.
Now, hey, here's what's great. Play it back, right? Play it back because obviously we're going to have 2 games against our divisional opponents. And so we're going to see if the Titans win on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because this is a pretty lofty, this is a pretty big gap, dude. We're doubling them
Mhm.
up on our scores here.
And again, we have to be clear. This does not mean this number does not reflect how the Jags will perform. This number does not reflect it really reflects more what we think they did in the offseason and the Titans did in the offseason, or the Texans did in the offseason, or the Colts did in the offseason. I just feel like there was a lot of standing still and they got it passed a little bit. And that's kind of like where we're at. But the season's
see.
right around the corner, and that's what makes it fun.
Exactly. Exactly. 32-15. All right. So we're going to have to see how the Titans measure up against the rest of the AFC South on our future pods.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it'll be one team per pod, same scoring. Visuals will be obviously similar, different colors, whatnot. It's going to be fun. It'll be a fun time. So,
yeah. And for you guys that have stuck around with us on this pod, we certainly appreciate it. The upcoming pods probably won't be as lengthy as this one because a lot of those points, obviously, that we made about the Titans and our beliefs in those players and skill sets would be simply redundant. So we might bring up some new things in regards to comparison to the specific team battle. But certainly we're going to have some unique commentary on those pods. So definitely make sure to tune in and we would definitely appreciate it. So TJ, before we close this one out, you got anything for the viewers?
Nope. Thanks for watching. Keep watching. We're going to try and be as creative as possible and try to stand out a little bit, have some fun. There's going to be some wins and L's for us too, but we're going to keep trying. We're going to keep grinding. So stay tuned.
Yeah, everybody. Hey, not everybody can be the Dolphins, 17, 16 and 0. Not everybody can go undefeated in a season. Hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning in as always to the Titans sector. We appreciate y'all so much. As a reminder, if you're still here, hit that like button. It definitely helps the algorithm out and helps push our content out there to the masses, to everybody in the AFC South. We appreciate that very much. Also, subscribe if you haven't. Share the content with the Titans fan or friend if you have one that hasn't seen us. Also, you can find us on X at The Titan Sector. You can find us on TikTok at the.titan.sector. We're always posting new content there. Come by and see us, hang out with us, let us know what you think and engage with us in the community there. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. You can find our new episodes dropping here on YouTube every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. respectively of their time zones. So, once again, thanks, guys. Take care of each other and tighten up.